Kane Thornton, welcome.
G'day, Sean. It's great to be with you.
It's great to have you here, mate. First of all, I just want to say thank you for coming on to Convos with Clenergy. It's a great honor to have you here, and I'm really excited to let the people in the industry get to know you a bit better today. First of all, maybe if you can just tell me a bit about your background.
Great. No, thanks, Sean, and thanks for having me. It's great to be on. I've been following the series, and I think it's a great initiative to bring a bit of colour and life to the industry and showcase some of the characters and leaders out there. So real honour to be on. Look, I've been in this industry for about 15 years now. I can go back as far as you like, really, but I was a country boy. I was brought up outside of Ballarat in regional Victoria, in farming country, and moved to Melbourne. Did a degree in IT, worked in IT, sort of travelled the world a bit for about 3 or 5 years, and then had the first of numerous midlife crisis, and thought there's something more to this. And at that stage, sort of climate change was becoming a bit of an issue. I'd spent a lot of time in some big industrial Asian cities, and thought something's not quite right here, and sort of came across renewable energy as a solution to this emerging problem. And I've basically spent the last 15 years trying to drive sensible policy, trying to push Australia to take up more renewable energy. And here I am, I guess 15 years later, heading up the peak body to do that.
Okay. And so you were working in IT, and then you started to read about climate change or get interested in that from there. How did you come across that subject, and how did it really affect you at the time?
Yeah, look, I was traveling a lot. I was living in Japan and traveling a lot across Asia and around the globe, and I was traveling to some pretty industrial cities and sort of exposed to a lot of air pollution. And the same time, I read a couple of books that kind of just caught my attention about sort of pollution and climate change, and it was quite early on. Would have been to the late 90s, and I think having grown up in the country and spent a lot of time in the outdoors and the natural environment, something kind of didn't feel right about all of that. And I guess that's kind of what got me concerned about what we were doing to the globe, engaged in the issue of climate change. And I think I'd sort of read about a few renewable energy companies, and it sort of came across solar power in a few different contexts in Asia, and kind of put all that together and thought, this is something I'm pretty interested in, and something I'm concerned about, want to do something about, and a pretty interesting industry and sector to be a part of.
Okay. And so when you made that decision, at that point in time, had you ever imagined that you'd be part of an organization like the Clean Energy Council, or was it more just you were heading into working into the industry, in a business role, or how did you? What was your thoughts at that point?
Look, I left IT and I came back to Melbourne, and I decided that I wanted to do something sort of a bit more in the policy space. I had this view that this was a sort of big public policy issue. It was a problem that governments and kind of society more generally had to lead on. And so I was sort of more attracted initially at the sort of policy and politics of the issue. But I wanted to work in industry. I guess I'm relatively entrepreneurial and business minded. And so one thing led to another. And in fact, when I first started to study the issue, I actually came across the predecessor to the Clenergy Council, the Business Council for Sustainable Energy.
Okay.
For anyone that's been around long enough, and I thought, that's kind of where I want to be, at the forefront of leading the industry to push government to get better policy and helping to develop the industry. So, to a certain degree, 15 years ago was sort of, I had my eye on the industry, the peak body for the industry, and it was a bit of a dream come true, both getting to work for the industry and now lead the industry body.